Is it just me, or is Lapis going to die? Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm your host, Oshrik Vox. And originally this was just going to be two separate videos. One, a rant on how the Crewniverse mistreats Lapis as a character. And two, the possibility of her death. But why not knock two birds in one stone? Because really, my reasoning for both is kind of intertwined. For the longest time, I thought Garnet was the one that the Crewniverse kind of shafted and isn't paying much focus to, making her the most mistreated gem, but then I realized we had an entire season with her, season 1 with Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. And the Sardonyx and Cluster arcs are some really good development for her. Even though we didn't get as many dedicated episodes to Garnet as we did for Pearl and Amethyst, she's had many great scenes throughout season 1 and 3 with Hit the Diamond. And the more I think about it, there really wasn't much to develop with Garnet. Her big secret was that she's a fusion, and it really hammers home that a fusion isn't just those two characters together, it's their own character. Because I sure don't see Garnet as Ruby and Sapphire, I just see Garnet as Garnet. And honestly, looking at all the main gems, we're 4 seasons in, and all the main gems have had a good amount of development, except Lapis. No, seriously, Garnet's had her story told, and while there's still a lot of questions surrounding Pearl, her main arc the show's focusing on, getting over Rose, came full circle, and is now moving on to the next chapter with the Mystery Girl. Although the upcoming episode 3 Gems and a Baby should definitely have some moments of Pearl showing resentment against baby Steven. And not to get too dark, but imagine just a brief moment where Pearl's considering poofing baby Steven. Heartbreaking, I'm sure. And even Amethyst has recently had her own arc, bringing her story full circle too. And I wouldn't be wrong in saying a lot of season 2 was about Peridot. The first half was them chasing Peridot, and her redemption arc, also known as the Cluster arc, was literally all about her. And that went into the second episode of season 3, and even after that we still had multiple episodes focusing on her. Too Short to Ride, the Kindergarten Kid, and she even played a major role in the episodes Beta and Earthlings. And then there's Lapis. She debuted in a 2-parter Ocean Gem and Mirror Gem, which were incredible episodes, and she had a very strong introduction, being the first real look into the Crystal Gems not being all they're cracked up to be. That maybe they aren't the good guys. And then she had a brief cameo in the episode The Message, a minor role in the episode The Return, and basically did all but nothing in Jailbreak until the Malachite fusion. Afterwards, she had a brief appearance in Chilited, Unfused in the episode Super Watermelon Island, and then we had 2 episodes focusing on her. The episode Same Old World, which was 100% Lapis, and then Barmaid, which was some Lapis, some Peridot. And then after that, we had nothing. Yeah, compared to the other gems, that's the least amount of development we've seen yet. And a major reason why a lot of people were disappointed with Gem Harvest is because a lot of people had the expectations, including myself, that it would be a Peridot and Lapis heavy episode, so we would get some development for both of them. And while I loved Gem Harvest, it's pretty split by the fan base. A lot of people were disappointed and don't like it, other people's really enjoyed it. And even though Lapis had some interaction with the gems, it still wasn't completely fulfilling. I mean, they did a really good job of establishing Peridot as a character. Part of what made it could have been great and Message received such a good 2-parter is all the episodes we had leading up to it. They took time for us to get attached to Peridot. I was hoping that after Same Old World and Barmaids, and well, Hit the Diamond, that we'd get some episodes focusing just on Lapis, get her own arc like how Peridot did. After all, that makes the most sense. Have an episode where Garnet talks to Lapis about how Malachite was such a misuse of fusion. Not only to set up and prepare Lapis for her next fusion, but also so she could bond with Garnet. Establish a connection with her. There should have been an episode where Lapis and Pearl are talking and Lapis expresses her resentment against Pearl for keeping her in her gem inside of her mirror for thousands of years, using her as nothing but a tool. Not only would that have been compelling because 1, Pearls are servants on Homeworld, so Pearl should know how wrong it feels to be a tool. But 2, every time Lapis and Pearl interacts, I'm just like, so you guys cool? Or, it's very unclear. And just have an episode where Amethyst wants to hang out with Lapis, take her around Beach City, have her kick back and relax. While Lapis doesn't seem like a social butterfly, and does like to keep to herself, or at least that's the best I can interpret because the Crewniverse barely shows her, having an established connection with Amethyst would have her completely take advantage of her freedom, learning more about Earth's culture and just going with the flow. Instead, she's at the barn all day watching Camp Pining Hearts with Peridot, which isn't bad, Especially if that's what she wants to do, but how are you supposed to know that's what she wants to do when she hasn't even done it yet because the Universe just doesn't use her that much? There's still a lot of questions surrounding Lapis, like what was her job on Homeworld? Why did she come to Earth? By the way, if you haven't noticed, when Lapis got caught in the war, if you have any doubt that she was struck down by our own bismuth, see all those court soldiers that are running in the background? Those battalion of court soldiers? What did Bismuth say in her debut episode?
Remember when you and I took on a battalion of court soldiers? We walked out with our stones shining brighter than when we walked in.
That's something I've not seen anyone talk about. But the internet is a massive place, so I'm sure there are people out there who already noticed that. There's also the question of, how close was she to Blue Diamond? We saw that Sapphire and Blue Diamond may have had a pretty close relationship. But all these questions, all my reasons of how Lapis is a mistreated character, it all leads to this. I believe if the Universe would kill off anybody, it would be Lapis. Now, this is not me saying Lapis is for sure gonna die. Oh, I believe Lapis is gonna die. No, I'm saying in the Universe, we're gonna kill off a character, it would be Lapis, without a doubt. It almost feels like they don't want us to be attached to her. Not much. They make her seem like a character of tragedy, someone who keeps losing her freedom. After all, she almost lost the barn again, and I'm really surprised they didn't play up that angle of the episode. Another factor of why I can see people were disappointed in Gem Harvest. She barely interacts with the other gems, and even when she does, sometimes it's off screen. Like at the very end of Earthlings, how long were the gems with Lapis? She had to fill them in while it was going on. What are those interactions like? We don't know because the Universe doesn't give it to us. Killing off or shattering Lapis, or having something terrible happen to her, like she gets poofed, but it's a unique poofing that the diamonds have invented, so their physical form can never readjust, or even her being corrupted, but it's such an intense corruption that it can never be cured. While these things would be very heartbreaking, especially to the hardcore Lapis fans, to the general audience of the show, that wouldn't be as big of a blow as Peridot, or Garnet, or Amethyst, or Pearl, or even Connie or Greg. Although I don't ever believe a human character would die, simply because you can get away with a gem dying. They're inorganic, they're not actual human beings. And that's how they get everything past the censors. After all, we have straight up confirmation that Rose murdered Pink Diamond, but since she's a gem and inorganic and it's just shattering her, it flies right by the ratings. And while I like to think it wouldn't happen, I can still totally believe the Universe would go through with killing off Lapis. Even if it's an open-ended death. Who would be the one to kill Lapis? To shatter her? Honestly, I believe it could be any of the diamonds, but if it were to happen, I feel like it'd be most interesting if Blue Diamond did it or White Diamond. With Yellow Diamond, it would be shocking, but it would lack that emotional punch that Blue Diamond, her own diamond doing it, would cause. At the same time, we don't know the extension of Blue Diamond and Lapis' relationship. Like, we know Peridot worships Yellow Diamond. So if Yellow Diamond sent to Peridot, that'd be kind of heartbreaking. And like I said in a few videos ago, I strongly believe White Diamond values conformity and results over everything else. We haven't seen anything yet, but if she runs Homeworld, then she has to have the mindset of, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Now on the other end, Lapis wouldn't be shattered or cut off because it's a kid's show. There's only so much you can go against the censors. The best thing you're gonna get for a death, besides Pink Diamond, is a gem being corrupted, because we don't know if they can be healed or not. And it'd be a slap in the face for Lapis fans to finally have her be free, only for her to die. And the reason we may not know much about her is just because her story is such a huge spoiler with the other diamonds that it has to wait to be told. And she can still have those episodes with Garnet, or Pearl, or Amethyst, but it just has to come at a later time. Just like how Alona's scene was literally the episode before the Jasper arc. And I get all those counter arguments. Yes, it is a kid's show, yes, her backstory may be huge spoilers, and yes, we get those episodes before those huge spoilers get revealed, but it would feel kind of out of the blue, and so much time would have passed at the barn if they did those episodes before a major revelation about Blue Diamond and Lapis. But it still just feels so odd that we don't know anything about her compared to the other gems. We knew Peridot was a technician, Garnet was a fusion created from a soldier, that's Ruby, and a psychic, Sapphire, who reported to her diamond, and we knew that Pearl was, well, Pearl, a servant. More than likely, a diamond servant. Amethyst would have been a court soldier. Hell, we found out that in Business debut episode, she built structures and was basically a construction worker for Homeworld. So why don't we know what Lapis was? Something's not right, and I feel like Steven Universe is a show that takes a lot of risks that other cartoons haven't yet. They like to be bold, they like to be brave, and while it isn't exactly unheard of for children's cartoons to kill off a character, killing off a character would definitely be another going there moment. And I feel like they have it set up so Lapis could be that character. But these are my thoughts, and I want to hear yours, so please comment down below. Do you think Lapis would die, get shattered, corrupted? Do you agree that the Crewniverse is not using her well at all? Comment down below, let me know. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, links to everything in the description down below. Ostrich Vox, signing out.